interesting, but a bit confusing for me.
Oh, confusing because it's your first time, right? Using
Yeah,
JavaScript.
it's my first time.
Okay. Who was your the Kickstarter yesterday? I mean last week.
Derek.
Oh,
Derek.
Derek lah.
Yeah, he's supposed to be another mentor, but then he wasn't available, I think.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean I also could have done it, but then I also didn't have time that time. So yeah, Derek did it.
So it's
I
your
mean,
turn this week.
yeah, I did this for the previous group also, the HiPo 12. Did you guys manage to do the homework?
Most of the we didn't do it prior to yesterday's class, so we just did it all together with Harry's help and all.
Oh yeah, you guys had like your with Min or something, right? You guys have like yesterday, is it? You guys met up also, right, to do some of the homework.
I didn't join.
What did you guys do yesterday?
It was the challenge 1 to 5, mostly using built-in methods.
Challenge 1 to 5.
What are we doing today, by the way?
Today is very similar to last week. It's just building upon it, and then like, we actually spend more time doing coding yourself. I'll spend less time teaching you all new stuff because you're just gonna apply the stuff that we learned this week and last week. So yesterday you guys did the week 4 homework, is it? Or you guys just revised the challenges? Hey, hi Min.
Oh man. Yo, you can call me Harry.
Oh yeah, Harry. Min, Harry.
Yeah, week 4's homework. So week 4's challenge 1 to 5.
Okay.
But
is it the one about nested arrays and?
We did a nested one. We did it live. So
okay.
The one after that, still a bit confusing.
Yeah, because I'm not sure if like the homework Derek gave you last week was the same as this week. I mean, the one I'm expecting, but it's fine. Hopefully it's the same. If not, we can just wing it and work on it together.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's go.
How you doing, Harry?
I'm doing good, bro.
Did you do anything this week?
Yeah, I'm learning about some theory about JavaScript and building some project. That's all.
Wow.
Some basic games and stuff.
You made a sick game.
A game? What kind of? How do you make a game with JavaScript?
It's just some kind of dumb thing, like get element by ID and stuff like that. Yeah.
Oh, you making a game?
No, this is like a project I learned from a course online. Yeah, and I follow the instructor and I code along, and and solve problems, challenges, and stuff like that. Yeah.
And it's about like DOM manipulation, right?
Yeah. Oh, but cool. Only like the basic. And I think right now I'm learning some theory about JavaScript, how JavaScript runs behind the scenes and heaps, call stack and
cool.
Heap stack, those kind of things. Yeah, like all those theory stuff, and plus with some practice as well.
Theory stuff. So what can you practice about JavaScript theory?
Let me see. So some kinds like let me just check. Because
interesting, because I haven't really learned much about JavaScript theory either. I just do the practical stuff,
like scope, scoping, scope and scope chain in JavaScript. Yeah.
You know the this operator?
Yeah. This keyword.
Yeah, this
keyword and the arguments keyword. The arguments keyword is is for pre-Java ES6, but yeah, but
Yeah, it still
yeah,
confuses me until now. Like the this keyword, different like depending on the scope, it's like it
yeah.
references a different thing, right?
So like it's a special. It's kind of like a special variable, and it is created like for every execution context in. So
Mm.
every execution context is like the functions, and it will text the value of the owner of the function, and in which this keyword is used. So it is basically it is not static. You know, it's a
Yeah, it's always changing, right? Depending on the
yeah,
context.
yeah,
Yeah.
depending on how the function is called, and it will work differently on different kind of functions, like expression functions, simple functions, arrow functions, and event listeners, and it will have some kinds of different effect. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So I'm just learning. I'm just like recalling what I learned about it. I'm still like yeah, refining it.
Yeah. It's quite hard to remember. So honestly, a lot of times, like the
Yeah,
this part, so it's like in some functions, it works differently, right? And like
yeah,
there's one little caveat where like it's like it works like there's one time where the this is quite unexpected one. Like you think it reference like the current object, but it's actually referencing like the one that outside, you know.
yeah.
So yeah,
So
that one always gets to me. I always
so
forget about that.
that's why he told me that you should not use var to create a variable, because var will create a variable on the global scope.
Ah, yeah,
So yeah, yeah.
yeah.
So
I heard of that.
avoid using var at all times, and try to use cons to declare variables. And if your variable needs to change, then only
Let
then use let. Yeah.
yeah.
So try to forget about var.
Yeah. Honestly, yeah, yeah. Since like the new JavaScript, we just use let or cons. Like try not to use var also
Yeah.
for better code. It's a good practice.
Yes, it's a good practice, and yeah, and always use strict mode. You got strict mode, right?
I
Uh,
heard of it. Not exactly sure.
Oh, it's like strict is you put a like this. Where's the chat bot? So just put this use strict like this. Yeah, at the
Uh,
yeah put this at the top of the JavaScript file,
it's a
and
preprocessor thing, right?
yeah, like it will basically prevent some kind of error in your code when you try to when you there is some bug with the scope of the.
Mm.
Yeah, I'm not good at explaining things. Yeah, because I'm not like grabbing the concept yet. I'm just like learning. Yeah, I'm still in the learning process. Yeah.
Yeah, it's okay. Strict. I've heard of that, but I kind of forgot what it does already. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's very interesting, like primitive values and objects, and how the Google JavaScript engine works and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and also the at some part I remember this lesson from Derek the some times ago, that about primitives and reference value, like how the variables and its value is stored, but I never understand why, but and now I do. It's like for primitive value, so it is stored in, it will have an identifier and then the address, and that address will point to a value. So when you
Mm.
think you are declaring when you declaring a variable name to a value, you actually declare that name to an address, and in that address it will contains the value that you need.
Yeah, yeah.
So yeah,
It's like different, like the primitive types, like the int, float, double versus like an object,
yeah,
like
and
a like a class type, right?
Yeah.
Where like it's stored in the heap versus the stack, right?
Yeah, the call stack. So the for primitive values is different, and for objects is different. Another story.
Mm.
So for object is like the identifier, which is the name of the variables, will point to an address, and this address will hold the value of the address in the heap
Yeah.
stack. Yeah, and that it will reference to the value which is stored in the heap stack, because object is so big that
So they just give the address. They don't give like the whole thing, right?
so because address object is so big, it cannot contain in the call stack. It must be stored in the heap stack, and and so in the call stack it will only contain the address reference. So that is why objects are called reference types value.
Reference types.
Right.
Oh, by the way, Satish, right? How to pronounce your name? You have two of your accounts joining the call. I see two Satish here.
Oh, one's my camera, one's my phone, one's my desktop.
Oh, okay.
Sorry.
Okay, no problem.
So you're using two different devices?
Your phone is for the webcam, is it?
Yes, bro.
Oh, good
nice,
idea,
nice.
actually. I want to use my computer each, but then also I want to show my webcam on my laptop. Maybe I should join two also, but don't know, because I'm the host, might have like different stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. All right, I think, is there anyone else left? How about Casper, right?
Nick got
Eugene.
exam.
There's one more guy. I remember there's a few more.
Eugene, Dominic, Nick,
Eugene and Martin is running late.
Martin, Tyson. Where's Tyson?
Eugene will be late. Tyson. Where's Tyson?
Yeah.
And Gene as well. Gene. Momo is here. Okay. Tara.
Right.
Tara is Cyrene, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Okay, I think we can start first. So, you guys do the homework for week 4, the past week.
Yeah. We did.
How was week 4, by the way? Is it easy, hard? Oh, Eugene is here. Hi, Eugene.
Oh.
We are just about to start already. Tyson
Hello.
also here.
Oh, employee. Who is employee?
Yeah, I don't know who is employee.
But I can guess who. Is it Tyson?
No, Tyson is just Tyson here.
Well, he have many accounts.
So who is? Tyson has many names.
Employee. Okay, anyways, how was week 4, guys? Like, you guys do the work?
Martin. Yeah.
Anyone found like week 4 like very difficult? You okay?
Me.
Eugene also?
Yeah, it's quite hard.
Quite
I
hard.
didn't have time because got finals.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
We
No
did it
problem.
anyway.
Yeah, we'll go through the challenges, the homework right now.
Okay.
By the way, you guys did. I'm gonna share my screen first. Yeah, you guys did. I just hope you guys did the same one as I did. Can you guys see my screen?
Yeah, I can see it.
Hold on. You guys did this one, right? It's like the nested arrays one, and then you add an element at the array. It's like some simple ones with nested arrays.
Yeah, I think, is this the one? Wait, let me turn on my VS Code first.
Tyson cannot join now. Okay, Tyson is here. Hey Tyson.
Yo,
How you
man.
Okay, so let's start with the first question. Yeah, is it correct, Harry?
Yeah.
Like the first question is this one, right?
Access the nested array using
Using bracket
brackets.
notation, yeah.
No, I don't think this is the one.
Oh, it's different.
Yeah, it's like
Oh.
the first one is extract booleans. Yeah, that's right.
Okay, let me go find it then.
This
Week
is I think
4.
it's week 4. Yeah, week
It's
4.
in the slides, right?
Yep, I think so. Let's see how it works. Yeah, this is the one. That's the one in the slide.
This one? Homework on REPL. Oh, same one. Is this one right? Homework on REPL. This link, right?
No, I think that in the slide when you kind of go back. Yeah, these mini challenges.
Oh, this one is
Right.
not really the homework. Actually, this one is the one you're supposed to do in class one, The homework is actually this one, yeah.
Because
Anyways.
he didn't have time to go through.
Oh, I didn't have time.
Yeah. So we just do it.
But I'll go through you guys this one first. You guys have any questions about the last week's one? We can go through that maybe after we're done with this one. So okay, first question is very simple. This one is just nested arrays. You guys are familiar with nested arrays, right?
Yeah.
It's like,
array.
I'm just gonna copy this here, clean a bit. So we have the THC array with this stuff. It's a nested array. Yeah, and also let is better than var. Oops, what is this? Okay. And then, so they want to access the nested array above using the bracket notation and change it into this one. So they just want you to change the first two names, Derek and Ming, to Derek Yi, Ming Yu. So how you do that is, yeah. Oh wait, I didn't have the answer here. Yeah, you just do THC array of, so you want the first element, right? So not first element, like the first element of the first array.
Yeah.
Then you want to go in there and also the first of this small array. So it's with 0, 0. Then you want to change that to Derek E. Then the same thing for the Ming. In this case, it will be the second element. So it's number 1 of the first one. So if you try to print out the array, yeah, we get the answer. Okay, next one is
You can do that.
this one. Using a method add an element at the end of the array. So it's the same array, but we just add anything. In this case, we'll use the push method, right? Because we want to add a new element to the array. So we just call thc array dot push. And in this case, we are not just adding, if you just do this, this will be wrong because we are adding an array with only one element called anything. If we do this, let me just comment out.
Nice.
We'll just push in the string. We won't push in the array itself. So we'll get, yeah, see, anything here. But we want anything in the square brackets, right? So we just have to in the array with containing the word anything. Yep.
Oh. Oh, okay.
Sorry, hold on. Oh, Momo just left by accident, I think. Okay. Next one, number 3. Find the number of elements in the TAC array's index position 2. So a TAC array's index position 2. So position 2 is 0, 1, 2, right? And how many elements are there in this array? There are 1, 2, 3 elements, right?
Yeah.
So how do you find it? You just have to call TAC array. You want to get the 0, 1, 2, the second one, right? You want to get the length of that. This is about it.
Don't know.
Yeah, you get 3. You guys get why this is the case, right? Exactly because it's 0, 1, 2, and we want to get how many elements are in the third
Yeah.
element
Yes.
of the whole TAC array. Okay, moving on. Question 4 is find the word count of the first element at index position 2. So we want to find the word count of the first element at index position 2. So index position 2 is this. The first element of index position 2 is this string. And how many word count and how many characters are there? So we have to count each of them, how many are there in this word. So we would have to do TAC array. So again, we take
2.
second,
Then we log
and then
inside.
we want the first element of this array, right? So we have to do 2 and then 0.
0.
Because 0 is the first
Dot
element, right?
length.
And then dot length, yeah. And this, in this case, dot length, this is a string now. This is representing a string. This is representing an array. But they both have the same method. It's just, this is representing how many elements are in the array. This how many characters are in the string.
Yeah.
Also, get 8.
Nice one. For loops.
Okay, so for
A
loops
new
now.
array. Oh, this is interesting.
So how do you create a new array called new array? Let new array
New array.
equals the empty array.
Yeah.
And I mean, this is you can do this, it's fine. But if you, let's say you want to specify like it's an array of like something, and just do like array of int or array of float or whatever. Yeah. Push values 1 through 5 into new array, print array, new array out. Okay.
Push value.
So push values 1 through 5. And just do new array dot push
The push.
1
So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
array. You can just copy and paste it, or you can just do it like the better way, which is like using a for I equals 0, initialize the loop variable. I is smaller than equal to
New array.
equal to
length.
5.
Yeah. New array.
And then because you want to push from
Oh,
and then
okay.
actually you start from 1 because you don't want to push 0. Start push 1 to 5. And then every time at the end of the loop we increment I plus 1. And for each of these, you just do new array dot push I itself, right? Yeah, then let's just print out and see. Oops.
Nice one.
Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Perfect. Next, print out everything from TAC array.
TAC array.
Oh, okay. Now we're working back with the TAC array. So we want to print out this, but we don't print out the entire array, right? We just don't do console log the TAC array. But instead, we want to do it line by line. So we want to console log each individual element in the array. So we can do this in a few ways. Like you can use a for loop, let I equals 0, I is smaller than the length of TAC array. And you increment I. Then you just go to console dot log TAC array, the ith of TAC array. Okay. Yeah, it prints out TAC array by line by line. You can actually do this in one line, which is pretty neat. So you can just do TAC array. You can use the for each thing that you learn. So what you do is for each element in this array, let's call this element x. Use the lambda function. And what you want to do with x? In this case, we want to print x, right? So for each of them, console log x. It should return the same thing.
Arrow functions, right?
Yeah.
So log.
Yeah, I just printed it twice now. Okay. Print out the first two elements of TAC array. The first two elements, as usual, I think in this case it would be better to use a for loop because, like this traditional one, that I is smaller than TAC I plus plus. So console. Oh, okay. In this case, it's not. Well, we can just copy this right here. But the condition, the loop condition, is different now. So we want to stop when I is 2. Right? Because it will just go 0, 1, and then when it's 2, it won't print out 2. And that is printing out the first 2 because it turns out 0 and 1. So yeah, I gotta be careful with this like loops and stuff because array starts at 0 and you're talking about the first 2 means it's 0 and 1 and you don't actually include number 2. So this, if you get this kind of error, is usually we call it off by 1 error, which happens a lot in programming. So yeah, we only print out the first 2.
Can I ask a question before that?
Oh, sure.
For number 5, right, when do we have to use the sign equal and more than? After the x, the for each, right? And then you put x equals and more than that sign. When do we have to use it?
Is it? Oh, this one is it?
Yeah, that small thing after that.
Oh, okay. This one. This is called it's called a lambda function.
Mm-hmm.
It's basically it's like a shortcut lah, basically. Because you guys learn functions, right? Function. Let's create a function to demonstrate lah. Let's call it print. Yeah, let's call it print. Okay, and it has a parameter called thing. Okay. So what this function does is it prints whatever we pass into this. So and how we do it is just console log thing. So whatever pass into print will print it out. And this we can actually replace it with just print like that. So what it does is the for each function, the argument, right, it actually takes in a function itself, you know. And like basically for each of the element of TAC array, I want you to call print on that thing. That's how I think about it. So you go through, okay, first direct 1. What you want me to do with direct 1? I want you to print direct 1. And so they'll pass in direct 1 into here, and then they'll console log that. And the second one, same thing. What you want me to do with this? I want you to print it. Yeah. And so now going to the lambda function, it's just like a shortcut way. Instead of having to define this whole function like separately, I can just do it within here. Say like, okay, let's call the current element x that we're talking about, and then the lambda operator. And okay, what we want to do with x? We want to console log x. Log x. And that's all. We don't need this function anymore. We don't need like a separate function just so we can use this. So a simple way to think about it is just like for each of the elements in TAC array. So like right now x will be Derek. What you want to do with x? You'll do console log x. Then again, next one, what is Ming 2? What you want to do with x? Console log x. So x will be like the current element of the array that you're looking at, and what you want to do with it. It's up to you what you put at this function here. But in this case, we want to print it out, so we use console log.
Which one is a better practice? Use a function or use the lambda?
I think lambda is pretty good. Like it's quite clear also. I think
what
yeah,
about
it's better to use this.
multi-line codes?
Okay, yeah. For example, let's say you not just want to print out x, you just want to do something with x, right? So you can just do this. We wrap it in curly braces. And right here, you can put like, multiple lines of code. So usually you just do next line here. And this is a code block really. So let's say you console log x, and also you want to console log x. Let's say console log hello with the x of the first variable, let's say. Right. You can do both of these. So let's just try to run this first. Yeah, so what this did was it went through each element of the THC array and it said, okay, what you want to do with each element? Okay, what I want to do is I want to print out that element. So it's right here, print out. Then I also want to say hello to like the first element of the thing that we're printing out. So hello, there. Next one we print out again. Hello, 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 hello. You see now it's like you can put as many code as you want here. And it's like right here you think of it as a function now. Because it's pretty much like a function that acts as like the argument that is passed in. Yeah. I mean you get used to this syntax like when you use this more. Yeah, it's a bit new, but yeah.
Understandable.
So if you just want one line, you can omit these two curly braces off. And it can just be like this. Yeah. You get more practice with this later. So let's move on to question 6. We print out the first two, right? Okay. So next one is question 7. Print out alternate elements of TAC array. So you want to print out the first, so like first one, the third one, the fifth one, and so on. So in this case, it's also better to use a for loop. So let's start from the first one because we're printing on the first. And we'll stop when I is equal to the length of TAC array, right? And we'll increment I. Okay, this is where you want to change the code from like how we normally do it, right? Because we want to print out alternate elements. And if we do I++, it just increase as I plus 1. So we'll just print out the next one. But we want to increase I plus 2 this time. So in here, I++, you can do I plus equals 2. Okay. And also AC array of I. Yeah. Let's see here. Let's say maybe you can try to print out starting from the first one. You start from the first one, then you print out different ones already. If we're now starting from Ming and then yeah, the second and the fourth one. Okay, so last one. Question 8. Add the Boolean true at the end of every array. Print out everything from KC array. So let's say the end of every array means the end of every array in the KC array. You can do this by, so in this case you also want to use a loop because you can do it for every single array. Actually, we can actually use the for each one that we just learned. So let's try that instead. THC array, for each of these elements in THC array, what I want to do is I want to add, so X in this case, right now let's do it like one by one. So when you first loop through, X will be this thing right here. I mean this thing without the true, and we want to add true to this array, right? So we just do X dot push.
Push. True. Right.
Yeah. And then the next iteration, you think about it, Ming2, X is Ming2. Then you want to push through to that array. The next one, and so on. And then you want to print it out, right? So let's just console log. C array. Yep. So you see now every element in the array has the true at the end of the sub-array. And that's all. Any questions? Any one you want me to elaborate on?
Will you share the code with us?
Yeah, I'll definitely share the code with you guys.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, don't worry. So I guess I'll move on to the content today. For that, let me just check the chat. Anyone see anything there? Oh yeah, we are recording. I didn't forget this time. Yeah, we are recording, so it's good.
Yeah, we're recording.
Yep. I made sure to remember. Okay. So welcome to week 5 stuff.
Let's go.
Let's learn about, okay, we went through the topics already. So let's learn about the first new array function you learn. It's called splice. This one is a bit very special one. It's actually like quite specialized, this function. You'll see. So like all the array functions we learn, for each what you learn, reduce, what else? For each reduce, the push, everything, it works on the array. So like example, in this example here, we have an array called fruits, and we can call fruits.splice. So it's a method inside fruits array. So let me just do a simple example first. Splice, and you see, okay, what does splice take in? It is the start number, delete count. So start number is where you want to start like editing the array, I would say. So okay, let's say what I want to do is, okay, let's remove apple and mango from this array, let's say. So where you want to start editing, 0, 1, 2 at the second element of the array. And then how many you want to delete? You want to delete 2 elements, right? Apple and mango. So we also put 2 here. So if we print out fruits right now, right? It will show banana, orange, kiwi. We have removed apple and mango. So this is just like an easier way to remove elements from an array. But there's also you can do more. Let's say I want to remove apple and mango, and in its place I want to add something else like strawberry. Okay, I replace apple and mango with strawberry. I just do this. So this is the third parameter of splice. It's like things that you want to add after you remove them. So banana, orange, strawberry, kiwi. And the thing is, this is actually unlimited. Like you can add as many as you want. Strawberry, blueberry. Can also add another one. Only got mango already. Anyone has their favorite fruit? Okay, I put pineapple.
Cherry.
Huh? Cherry? What? Cherry. Okay, I put cherry.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so you just add as many as you want. Pineapple is nice. Yeah. And then yeah, so that's the splice. I mean, you can also just remove like one element. You can just do remove apple only. So you just put one here because this is how many you want to remove, and this is where you start to remove. So maybe let's say you want to remove orange lah. So we want one. No? We start from the first index, 0, 1, and then remove 1. If you put 2, they'll remove orange and apple and leave banana, strawberry, blueberry, cherry, pineapple, mango, kiwi. Yeah. So that's splice. Next one we'll learn is very similar. I mean similar in name, but not really. It's called slice, which what it does is this slices an array. And it's more like you want to take a subset of the array. It's very useful when you're taking a subset. So what I mean by that is, let's say we have fruits. So a simple one first. Fruits dot slice, and this you will specify the start and the end. So start means where you want to start taking the array from, where you want to start slicing. Let's say we want orange, apple, mango only. So we just do number 1, which is orange, and then we'll end at, we want mango. So it's 0, 1, 2, 3, but we'll put 4 instead because so if I put 1 and 4, they'll just take element 1, 2, and 3. They won't take 4. So 1 is inclusive, the first one is inclusive, and the last one is exclusive. And this function actually returns a new array. So I have to print out, like, to see my changes, I print out this fruits.slice. And as you can see, we get apple, mango, and orange, apple, and mango, right? Because 1 to 4. Let's say we want banana and apple. I mean banana and orange. We just do 0 and 2 because 0, 1, and we don't include 2. You got it? Yeah, banana, orange. And just so you know that slice, right, doesn't actually affect the original array. So you realize that fruits.slice returns a new array itself, and it doesn't change fruits array itself. As you can see, splice, right? When we splice an array and we print out fruits itself is changed already. But if you see here, we slice it. So this is the slice version, and this is still the original fruits array. We didn't change it. So yeah, it's good to know that. So next one, there's also, you can also insert one element only for each of the functions. You can see if you put one argument, it takes everything in the array after the index that you gave, and that is for splicer. And And for slice is just begin. Okay, inserting one argument, only insert the first argument with the index that begin. So if let's just show it now, easier. Okay, let's say we only put one argument, fruits dot slice. We just put one number. Let's put number 2. What does it do? What does it do? Let's find out. So you see, if you put number 2, right? 0, 1, 2, you'll take everything before number 2, and we'll remove all these after. Yeah, so that's when it uses 1. So basically, implicitly, it's just 2 and then 3 in this case. Yeah, you'll do the same thing. But if you just put 2, you'll know that, okay, you're just taking the first 2 and you want to ignore the rest of it. And for slice, right, if you just pass in one element, let's say we put 1. Yeah, you get, so 1 will be the start. And in this case, implicitly, n would be the length of the array. Length of the array. So if 0, 1, 0 and 1, so you start taking from index 1, and then you start taking next index. So implicitly, it's just exactly the same thing as doing 1 and fruits dot length. Yeah. So that is with slice and splice. Next one we'll learn is a spread operator. This one is relatively new. It's like in the newest version of JavaScript ES6. And what it does is, like for example, we have like the most common use case for spread operator is this. So we have 2 arrays, right? Fruits and more fruits. A good way of combining these 2 arrays is using the spread operator. If you don't use the spread operator, let's say we do fruits dot push, and we just pass in more fruits. What do you think will happen here? Anyone can guess? What happens when you print out fruits? How will it look like?
So
It will become a nested array.
Yeah, right. So
there'll be like 2 array inside of it.
yeah, so you're just basically adding the array of more fruits into the end of this.
Yeah.
Right. So let's see here. Yeah. So this is the fruits array. Then the last element is just the whole array itself. But let's say that's not what we want, right? We want to just have a whole array called fruits with everything like nicely lah. So in this case, we just use the spread operator. 3 dots in front of more fruits, and it gives a different result. See, it just adds it like nicely. It takes each of them and add it.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah, so that's the spread operator. Actually, I'll skip this part first. We'll do it later. I think I want you guys to try a challenge first. So yeah, saying that the challenge might be a bit tough, but just help each other. Well, I'll try like putting you guys in the breakout rooms, and then see maybe then you guys can discuss among yourself when you're doing the challenge. The first one will be damn easy. This one, it's just make a Celsius to Fahrenheit converter.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. It says here that the conversion rate is take the Celsius times 905 plus 32. So I just want you to make a function, and then you pass in a Celsius, a unit in Celsius, and then you get return a unit the same unit in Fahrenheit. Yeah, so you guys can try that out. It just takes like 10 minutes. But let me just put you guys in the breakout rooms first, yeah.
Fahrenheit. Hmm.
Wait, actually, where is the breakout room? I don't think it's. Oh wait, never mind. How many people are here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, there's 9 people. I put you all into rooms of 3 people each. Okay.
Bro, can put me in breakout room 1.
Satish, yeah, can you join? No, can you join breakout room 3?
Oh,
Satish?
because my desktop joining 3, 1. Then I keluar from here.
Okay, it's okay. I can move you to breakout room 3. Hold on, yeah.
Okay, okay.
Okay, I move you there.
Okay, bro.
Harry. Oh, okay. Okay. I hope you guys have all finished, yeah?
Almost.
Okay, no problem. Like, before I share my answer, anyone wants to share theirs?
Yeah.
Okay, I see the chat. Wow, okay, Momo's one, a times 9 over 5 plus 3. Yeah, that's good. Use a function. Chain also, okay, that's good. Wow, Satish, you use Kelvin also.
This one, right? Actually, I did last time.
Is this the one?
Okay.
Last time, Derek asked
Yeah.
to do again.
Oh, okay. So instead of Celsius, Kelvin lah. Yeah, Satish, yours is correct. It works, right? But what we try to make is like you try to make it into a function, so that like you see what Yuqin did. She made a function called converter that passes in an argument called x, right? Ideally, you want to do that, so you can actually reuse this code. Like right now, if let's say you want to find a temperature for like something else, like a different Kelvin temperature, you want to convert it to Fahrenheit, then you're gonna have to change the code here. So yeah, it's better to put in a function, but it
Okay,
works,
bro.
so it's good. Oh, Harry's one is also good. Constant function. Yeah, so
Yes.
Harry's one is it's also a function. It's just a slightly different way of defining a function, right?
Yeah.
You use constant temperature change equals to function. So temperature change is the name of the function,
Yeah.
and then Celsius is just the parameter, the argument that you pass in.
Actually, I wrote like a narrow function
Oh.
as well, but it's okay.
Oh, you can't see Yuqin's message. Yeah. Okay, I will send you. I'll just put it here. Yeah, that's what Yuqin sent. Which is very similar to mine. I'll just share my screen also. Yeah, so this is my solution. It's just simple one, Celsius to Fahrenheit function. Pass in the Celsius. What you do with the Celsius is you multiply by 905 and you add 32. And if you console log the result of Celsius to Fahrenheit of 44, you should get 111.2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This one is.
Yeah, okay. Let's move on to the next one. It's called simple array sum. So this one also quite simple. Just we'll give an array. You take an array of like numbers and just add each of the elements together. And yeah, return like 100, 200 plus 300 plus 400. And also at the same time, remember, try to use functions. So this will be like an example, like a starter code lah. So you declare a function and you call this, let's say sum array, okay? Sum array, you'll take in an array called, let's call it x. Then you return the answer. Basically, is the elements of x combined. So this is where you put your code lah. Here's where you return the correct answer. Oops, what is this? Yeah, return the correct answer. Then when you want to test out your code, you can just do console.log of sum array, and then you pass in the array, like let's say you want to test 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, then you see the results if it's like what you want or not.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'll put you guys in breakout rooms again. This will take, I think you guys can take faster than 20 minutes, right? I'll see lah. If you guys still struggling, I'll give you more time. But if you guys are all done, we'll just cut it short.
Okay.
So
Let's go.
let's go. Yeah, you can join your breakout rooms now. Okay, Google. Set a timer for 10 minutes.
All right, 10 minutes. Starting now.
Okay, Google. Start a timer for 5 minutes.
Okay, 5 minutes. Starting now.
Hello. Right now they're doing a challenge right now, so they're all in breakout rooms. I can assign you to one of them.
Okay, but I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, so I'll explain to you first. I'll share my screen. So what they're doing here is they're doing this challenge here. Basically, you just want to take an array of numbers and then just add each of the element in the array. And ideally, you will put this inside a function so you can reuse it again. But yeah, I'll add you into a breakout room and you can discuss with them.
Okay, can.
Okay.
Yo, wow.
Oh,
So
you guys are back.
wait.
So, okay, right?
Yeah, yes.
All right. How's it? Yuchin, okay. All right.
Okay, okay.
Great, great. All right, you guys are all back. As usual, before I show my answer, I want to see some of your answers too. So, yeah, you guys can just share it in the chat.
Did you guys see my answer? Yes.
Uh, no, I don't see your answer because I think you sent it in the breakout room.
Oh,
Yeah, you have to send it
okay.
again.
Okay.
Yeah, I see now. Okay, sum up function let I is equal to 0. So I is the result, right?
Yeah,
I.
I understand the result. Like
Yeah.
it will get updated like every time the loop, the for loop runs, the I will get update to a then.
Yeah. I mean I would say maybe try not to use I because I is usually for like for loop, the iterator variable, right?
Yeah,
So it might confuse some people if they see I here, they think like, oh, maybe I is like the variable they iterate with, but it's actually just what you're holding the sum, right?
yeah. So let's just create it as a sum so that it will
Yeah, you
not.
should maybe
Yeah.
call it sum or something else. But okay, I see
Um,
J. J is J smaller, J plus plus, and I equals I plus array of J. Yeah, that's good. This should work. Anyone else want to share their answers?
here, I'll send a new one so that everyone. Yeah.
Oh, okay, perfect. Okay, I'll show my one. Oh, someone else sent. Oh, never mind. Okay. So this is the challenge 2, right? That's a few ways you can do it. So the first way that I did was using the array.reduce method that you guys learned last week, right? So it what it does is like it takes the current sum. So right here, array reduce, it takes in two parameters. It takes in a function, has two parameters, and then this is the running sum, and you just add it to x. Yeah, this is a bit complicated, so it's okay if you don't understand this one. But yeah, this is how you would do it in one line if like you like to code like short stuff. Like you want to make like your code as short as possible. But it might not be the most readable one or like the one that's easiest to understand. So that's why I also made this one, which is pretty much the same as what Harry did. But instead of a for loop, I just use the arrays for each, the built-in for each loop. So I first generate, I have a declare variable called results is 0. And then I'll loop through every element in this array. I do for each, okay, for each, let's say x is the first element. I take results plus equals x. So I take x and add it to results. Then the next element, I take it and add it to results and just keep doing it. And that will take the sum. It will make results to be the sum of all the elements in array. So you can check it. Yeah, it's 1,000. So that's right. And yeah, you can move on to the next. Oh yeah, I guess any questions regarding this? Oh, okay. No.
Yeah. What if we don't have the return result?
Okay, if you don't have return results, then your function wouldn't return anything. You can try and see what happens. Undefined, because like they don't know what is sum. Like when you do let's just store this into a variable before we print it out. Let's just say let s equals to the sum of this. So by right, s should be 1,000, right? Because it's the sum of these values, and then we print out s. But if we don't return anything here, by default, it will be undefined because s wouldn't be assigned to anything. This wouldn't like evaluate to anything. So it's something like you think about functions as like mathematical functions. So like you guys do some math, you remember like fx. You define fx as equals to x squared, right? And what happens when you take like you say let y equals to fx? That means y is equals to x squared, right? And like let's say what is y when y is equals to this? Y is 4, right? So how you declare this kind of function, this mathematical function in like JavaScript format is this function f. So f is the name of the function. The argument, the parameter is x, and then you return the square of x, which I think is math.power x. Yeah, so you do let y equals to fx. Wait, not fx. I mean f of something like 4. Then you print out y, see what you get. I think I'll make a new file so I can share with you guys. This JavaScript function down here represents this. And let's say you let y equals f of 4 and you console log y. You should get 16, right? As expected. So you have to return it so that this evaluates to something. If you don't return it, y will just be undefined. So yeah, just think about it as like math functions. F is 2, so you get 4. Yeah.
Thank you. Okay, thank you.
No problem. So we can move on to the third one. This one is just take a string and reverse it. That's all. And I want you guys to try to solve this with using two methods. Solve it using loops and built-in array methods. Loops as in use a for loop, like what Harry did for his challenge 2. And built-in array methods is more like, it's also kind of loop, but you know, it's like this one, array.for. It's just a built-in array method. So yeah. I'll create a function. Oh yes, what do you say?
Thinking about unshipped.
Unship.
Yeah, like adding elements to, right? I don't know, like reverse something.
Yeah, you think about that. So we just take in, it's just again, you make a function, input a string, and you return the reverse of that string. Yeah. This one, you definitely have to use loops. I'm not really sure if there's a way you can do it without using loops. But yeah, I'll put you guys in breakout rooms. We'll see.
Reverse a string. Create a function. This function is reverse any given string and return it.
Bro, I'm not in the breakout room.
Eh, how come? Hold on.
Okay.
Yeah, you should get it now.
All right, thank you, man.
No problem. Yeah. Hello?
Okay. Sorry. Yeah. I actually want to ask because I haven't gone through the past few sessions for the JavaScript yet. So
Oh, okay.
every time I come in late, so I always start in the middle and I haven't gone through the video yet. So I don't know what is the basic how to write the basic, like let's say return the parameter, the arguments. I haven't gone through yet. That.
I can give you like a quick crash course
Mhm.
while they're doing the things.
Yeah.
Maybe you can share your screen.
Share my screen. Just
Yeah.
a moment. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, you know how to get like the code running and stuff, right?
Yeah, I know console log
Okay.
first.
So have you learned any JavaScript before? Like, you went for the previous session, right?
Yeah, like I start in the middle, so I know what's the logic behind, but those basic elements I don't really understand.
So like, can you maybe make like a start from scratch, like from a new file?
Mm-hmm.
So it'll be easier.
In same folder or
Anything lah. Just make a new file. Call it something.js.
okay.
By the way, you know how to run the code, right?
You mean like console log, is it?
Like, you know how to execute the JavaScript code. Yeah, like console log, but like run the code, so that you actually see the results.
No, I don't know.
Oh, you don't know how lah. I think in that case, I think it'd be easier if you go to codepen.com.
Okay.
That's why it's very easy to use. You guys use before CodePen, right? Usually they share the code.
Yeah.
Yeah, usually we share the code from there.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we just use CodePen.
Can you see my screen now?
No, I cannot see your CodePen though. I can only see your VS Code.
Okay, wait, because I have to.
Okay, Google. Set a timer for 20 minutes.
Okay, 20 minutes. Starting now.
I don't really how to.
Just stop sharing your screen first, and then when you press share screen again, you share screen. Make sure you select screen, like your entire screen, so you can see everything.
Okay, give me a second.
Yep. Okay, I can see it now.
Yeah, my desktop very messy. Okay.
Okay, yeah, I see a code pen here, right?
Yeah.
So like you can minimize the HTML and CSS because you're not going to do any of those. So just like, yeah, minimize HTML editor.
Okay.
Okay, so here just try typing console.log. Just type hello world in there, in quotes.
Okay.
Yeah, and just run by itself. I think for CodePen, can you go to settings and then go to JavaScript?
JavaScript. Okay.
Oh wait, sorry. Go to behavior. Save automatically. Oh no, auto updating preview off.
Off.
Yeah, then close it.
Okay.
Then now just press the run button up there to run the code. Oh, it's just have to click the console. You see at the bottom left? Console, yeah. Yeah, so that's your results.
Okay.
So this is just a hello world program. Let's say if you instead of typing hello world, just do 1 + 1.
Still with the string, is it?
Not string. Yeah, 1 + 1 itself. Yeah, then you should get 2 lor.
See. Hold on. Okay.
2. Okay. And then also we introduce variables. So let's say above the console log, type let let. So let's say we want to name this variable x. X equals to something like 1. So now x is a variable that contains the value 1, right? And then we declare another variable below x, like maybe y. So let y equals like 2. And then you console log x + y. And expected you should get 3 lor.
Okay.
So yeah, this one you know, right? The concept of variables and stuff. Okay. Next is if statements. Let's go for if statements. Have you heard of the if statement and stuff? If else. Okay. But we just recap a bit lah. So let's say we do if type if open parentheses. Yeah. No, the round one.
The round one?
Yeah. That was parentheses. So
Okay.
if x equal 1. So we're checking if x is the same as 1. And then you don't need the comma there actually. You remove the comma. Open curly braces. Yeah. And then press enter. Yeah, so within here is what happens when x equals to 1. We just say console log something lah.
Okay.
Like console log
Why?
yeah, whatever lah. So you know what happened, right? In this case, if you run the code, so since x is equals to 1, we'll just print out y, and then after it, we'll print out x + y. So there should be 2 lines at the output. Maybe see your console. Can you extend it out a bit? Like your console down there, like drag it up a bit so we can see more of it.
Get up.
No, like the console down there below your screen.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, drag it up.
Wow,
Okay.
wow.
So you see 2 and 3, right? Because y is 2, and then you print out that 3. So that's if statements. And then now we'll go to loops. Oh yeah, actually, let's go to arrays first. So let's say let declare an array. Let a or something.
A.
Let's call it a lah, equals to open square bracket. So this is an array. And array, let's say we want to put integers in an array lah. Let's just do 1, 2, and 3. Yeah. 1, 2, and 4 also can. So this is an array called A that has 1, 2, and 3. And let's say we console log A. Then I think you can just remove the code above lah, just so less code confused. Yeah, just remove everything and run it. Yeah, you get 1, 2, and 3, right?
Mm.
So how about you do A, and then in there, there's a square bracket beside A. I mean at the console log there.
Mm. So, oh, okay.
So square bracket, you put a square bracket there.
Mm.
So that is saying A of what? Let's say A of 0. You have to close the,
All right.
yeah. So A of 0, as you expect, is
1.
Is 1, yeah. And what is A of 1?
2.
2, right? And then A of 2 is 3.
Mm.
So yeah, that's pretty much arrays.
Mm-hmm.
And now one of the things we do a lot with arrays is usually when we have an array we'll want to loop through the array very often in programming.
Okay.
And we use a for loop for that.
Mm.
Right? So can you type for? Okay, let's say in this case, we want to print out every single element in an array.
Mm.
So we declare a for loop, and for for loop, there's 3 sections at the declaration there. So within the close, the circle brackets, there's 3 areas. The leftmost area is initialization. So that's where you initialize the loop variable. So that variable keep track of which iteration you are in the loop. So like a loop, basically what it does is it repeats things, right? And we'll declare a variable called I. So you just type let I equals to 0. So let's just initialize I as 0. We declare initialize I as 0. And that I will make it to keep track of what iteration we are right now. So how many times you've repeated. So, and we'll use this I to access like certain indexes in the array. But so the second part of the for loop would be the terminating condition. So if that part is true, then the for loop will stop. So in this case, you want the for loop to stop running. You want to stop repeating when I is equal to the length of A, right? You get it? Because you want to loop through everything in A, and you want to stop when I is equal to the length of A. But the thing is, this one is not really terminating condition. Actually, I said wrong. It's more like I is smaller than A, because it's a condition where you continue, and if that is false, then only you terminate. So
False.
yeah, so you imagine if I is smaller than the length of A, you continue the loop because it hasn't reached the end yet, right?
Okay.
And until it reaches the end, that means I is bigger than or equal to A, the A's length. Then that's when you terminate. So yeah, you just do I is smaller than A length.
Okay. Then why normally people use I is smaller than A?
Smaller.
So you want it to be not true because you want it to keep looping, is it? We want it to be false.
So when that statement is true, the loop will continue.
So we want it to loop lah, non-stop. Okay.
Will stop until I is bigger than or equal to A length. Get it? Yeah. And then you put a semicolon again. And then this third one is just what happens after every loop. And in this case, what happens after every loop is we want to just add I plus 1, add 1 to I. And you can just do that simply with just I plus plus.
Means okay, let's say this is the array is 1, 2, 3, right? So I go through one loop 1, 2, 3, and then go from 2 to is it?
So let's say you want to loop through A, right? You loop through first iteration when I is equal to 0. You want to index 0th element. So in 0th of A is 1, right? And then when I is equals to 1, you want to do A of I. And A of I when I equals to 1 is 2. Yeah. So at the end of the for loop, open close curly bracket. And then do console log A of I. A of I. Then also remove the first console log. Yeah. Now run it. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, right? Because you're looping through, you're printing each element in A. So that is loops. And with this loops, it's very powerful. You can do basically a lot of stuff, which is what we're doing with the challenges. Like maybe I'll go through with you challenge 2, for example.
I have a question before that. Like, let's say you see the last one is how we want the I to proceed to the next thing. Is it called parameter or
I plus plus, is it?
Yeah. This can I not? Yeah.
Okay, you try not doing it. You remove I plus plus, and you see the results. Yeah. Then you run it.
Because I was thinking if that dictates how I run the loop, then if I put something not related to I but make sure, let's say, skip the even number, is that possible?
Yeah, you can. But you see, if you remove I plus plus, right, what happens is that it's an infinity loop now. The loop will never stop. Yeah, see, you see, get 1, 1, 1, 1. You know why it's 1? Because you're console logging A of 0, right? A of 0 is 1, right? Yeah. And it's keep doing that because I is never changing. I is always 0.
Okay. So no matter how much I change the n, it's still gonna be like this, right? Let's say I put equal.
I is equal. Okay, if you put it has to be equal. If you want to compare it. Yeah, put equal, not
equal.
Yeah. Because if you do equal, you're assigning I to A's length. But you don't want to do that. You want to just check.
I think because it's looping, so it cannot stop.
Oh, yeah.
That's why.
Wait. Do I equal first.
Wait,
I think they should stop themselves one because CodePen wouldn't allow you to do so much. So
Okay, because I heard them like having everything, the computer crash, right?
yeah. So you see, if you do this, I equal A line, you run it, nothing happens.
Yeah.
You know why? Because, okay, first of all, what is I? I is 0, right? And what is A dot length?
3.
3, right? So 0 is equal to 3? False, right? That's false. And so if that is false, the loop will never run. Like it won't go and run the loop inside there. Yeah. Because 0 is not equal to 3, right? So it will never run the loop.
So can I say this second one is more of like a condition?
Yeah, it is a condition.
And
It's called a loop condition.
And it depends on true or false.
Yeah.
Okay.
So as long as the condition in there is true, you run the loop. If the condition is false, you just don't run the loop at all. You exit already. Yeah. So in this case, it's false from the start, so we don't even run it once. So if you go back to the conventional one, I is smaller than A length. And then at the end, you do I plus plus. So to explain again, so first you declare I to 0, right? And then after each loop, after each iteration, you add 1 to I. So it's 0, and then I is 1, then I is 2, then I is 3. And when I is 3, right, is 3 smaller than A dot length?
And I is 3.
Yeah.
No.
It's not, right? So that's false already. But if I is 2, is 2 smaller than A dot length? It is, right? So that's why, like, okay, let's just start from the beginning. I is equal to 0. So is 0 smaller than A dot length? Yes. So let's run the loop. And they'll log A of I, which is A of 0. And then after that, we'll increase I plus 1. Now I is 1. Is 1 smaller than A dot length? Yes, right? And then we'll do the same thing. Increase. Now I is 2. Is 2 smaller than A dot length? Yes. Next one. Is 3 smaller than A dot length? No, right? So we exit the loop and we stop. Yeah.
So I minus minus means I, so I from 0 and then it moves to I minus 1, negative 1, is it?
Yeah, it will be 0 then -1, which will print, if you do a of -1, or in this case will be undefined. It depends on the compiler one. But yeah, we can try, let's say you want to print from the back to the front. You want to print 3, 2, 1 instead of 1, 2, 3. You just do let I be equal to 2, right? And then I minus minus. But you have to check the condition. The loop condition has to be right.
Okay.
So in this case, loop condition terminates when I is smaller than 0. Right? Yeah, you try to run. Oh, Eugene accidentally left.
Yeah. Sorry, Eugene.
No, no
I start
problem.
from basic. Yeah, so far here it's okay.
I don't know how to add you back. Wait, Eugene, do you see like at the Zoom bar down there, right? Can you click like more and then click on breakout room or something like that to join a breakout room? Okay. Yeah, that is pretty much it for the loops. So if you run it now, you should get the reverse of it, right?
Nothing come out.
Nothing come out. I is, oh sorry, it's actually I is bigger than 0. Bigger than equal to 0.
Equal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So 3, 2, 1, right? Yeah. So that's the for loop. And with that, you can make challenge 2. But I think I have to bring them back already to continue.
You sure?
Yeah.
Just try to follow.
Yeah, I can try to follow.
Okay, let's pause my share first.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Restraining functions.
Welcome back, guys. You guys managed to finish it?
Not with the built-in method.
Oh, okay.
Not with that part. Yeah.
But with loops.
I managed to do it. Yeah. I managed to do it with the for loop.
All right. Okay, see that everyone is back. Can you guys share your answers in the chat?
Yeah, I already sent it with Momo behind me.
Oh, cool.
After me.
Let's see. Okay. So Harry's one is reverse string function. Let reverse be an empty string. For I, let I is string dot length -1. I is bigger than or equal to 0. I minus minus. So you're just basically querying. You're just looping through the string from the back, right?
Yeah.
And then for each of them from the back, you just add it to the reverse. Yeah.
Yes, that's right. It's simple.
Yeah, it's simple. And then Momo's one is function ref string 1 for I is string length. Let new string equals. Whoa.
Try it. Let's paste it here.
Momo's
Save
one.
it.
Momo, does your one work? Have you tested it?
Yeah. No.
Oh no. Okay, let's move on to Shatish one now. Cause not sure if your one works. One more. Good try lah. Good attempt.
Okay, okay.
Shatish one is reverse string for var I string length -1. Okay, so it's the same as
Yeah.
it's the same, which pretty much the same as Harry's one.
Yeah.
Except that I think it's better if you move the var new string inside the function, within the scope of the function, and also change the var to let. Because as Harry mentioned that var, it make it like a global variable. So it's just not a good practice. It's better to
Yeah.
use let.
Because when you
LET.
use just later when you use the this keyword, it will
Yeah.
will access to that to that variable too. It's annoying.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's better to use let.
Okay, bro.
So I'll share my answers right now. You guys see my screen?
Yeah. Nice.
So okay, so using loops reverse one, I call it, pass in the string, it's exactly the same as Harry's one. So I just use a for loop and loop through string in a reverse order. So I first let I to be the length of the string -1. So this is the very end of the string, the last character of the string, and then a loop condition is when I is bigger than or equal to 0, I'll let it run until when I becomes -1, then this loop will stop. And then I minus minus, so it's just decreasing from this. So it just went from, in this case, if it's hello, it'll go from 4, 3, 2, 1, 0, -1, they'll stop. So yeah. And the other way I did it was, it's a one-liner. If you use built-in array methods, first you use the spread operator. So you spread the string into an array of characters. I'll show you what you do. So I'm just gonna print out. So what happens when you do this? You spread the string world.
So it's like
You get
yeah.
each of the characters in an each as an element of an array. So yeah, I'll take this. Maybe I spread it out first, and then there's actually a reverse built-in method. It's already like there.
Oh my.
So you can
Right.
just take any array, call reverse of it, and it'll just return a reverse version of it. But in this case, because it's a string, right? If we just do this, like world dot reverse, we'll just get the reverse version of the array of the string. But you want to make it back to a string, right? So we have to join it back using this join function here.
Wow. That's great. Awesome. New stuff.
Yeah. So everything you did could be done with just this reverse. But it's good to do it yourself, to learn how all these functions are implemented for better understanding. But yeah.
One question, any benefits of declaring it as a function rather than a non-function?
That would definitely be like for code reusability. So let's say if you don't declare this as a function, okay, let's say I'm just gonna use this one. Okay, this is the example. What I can do is, okay, if I do it as function way, reverse one hello, I console log. And let's say if I want to also find the reverse of the word world, I can do it like that. And yeah, I'll get both of them. So you can kind of reuse the function. You think of function as like a module that you can use over and over again. But if you don't use functions, then you'll make it a bit like tough to reuse it. I mean, it's not impossible, of course, but if you move it out, let's say, and it's just gonna be quite messy, though. So let's string the hello, like that. Blah blah reverse, and then what I'll do is I'll console dot first. So this is the results, right? Yeah, so this is how you would do it without a function, right? And yeah, it does the same thing, but when you want to do it again for, let's say, world, you're gonna have to, I don't know, it wouldn't be elegant, or you have to maybe do like string2 equals world.
So that end up declaring more stuff in the end.
Yeah, and then maybe you have to copy and paste this. Again, reverse 1, reverse 2. Yeah, you get the point. It's just very messy.
Right. Yep, I get it now. Yep, thanks.
So it's for reusable purposes.
Yeah. Reusability. Before we go to the next challenge, I just want you guys to learn about this one. Just some math operators for JavaScript. Some simple one, like the parse in function. As you would expect, it just parses something to an integer. So yeah, we use this method parse in. This is a string, right? String of 443. But if you put it inside parse in, it will become an integer. So if I print out this, convert it to an integer. Four four three. Simple. So that will be a handy method if you want to convert strings to integers somehow. And then also next one we have the math.random. So this one generates a random number, a random decimal number between 0 and 1. So this is the function, math.random. So let's say I print out the results of this. This time I get 0.4, blah, blah, blah. Again, 0.5. It's always different because it's a random. And it will always be between 0 and 1. However, it's inclusive of 0, but exclusive of 1. So this math.random will never be 1. It can be 0.99999, but not 1. But it can be 0. So naturally you think, how can I use this to make a random number generator? And the solution is to do it like this. So let's say I want a random number generator that generates a random number from 0 to 10. So I would take, let's just take it and times 11 first lah, without the floor. So if I want a random float from 0 to 10, yeah. So it's just taking whatever is random, like 0.7. If you times, let's say 10 lah first. If you times 10, it will just become like a number lah, instead of between 0 and 1, it will be between 0 and 10. But if I want an integer only, I don't want all the decimal places, what an option I can do to remove all this is use math.floor, the floor function. So as you guys expect, the floor function removes, like if it's 4.7, just remove the end of it and it'll just be 4, right? So, and the reason why I times 11 and not 10 is because if you do 10, right, imagine you generate random number 0.5. If you times 10, okay, not 0.5, maybe like what works, 0.9. If you times 10, you get let's say 0.99. If you times 10, you get 90, 99. No, 0.99, you get 9.9, right? If you floor it, you get 9. And since this math.random will never reach number 1, you won't be able to get 10. But that's if we want a random number between that has 0 to 10, inclusive of 10, then we have to actually make this to 11. So let's say the random number generator is, this is like 0.99. If we times 11, 0.99 times 11, you get 10.89. And if you floor that, you get 10. So then it's possible to get 10 itself. So yeah, it's just a little detail lah, but yeah, this is what happens if you want to do a random number generator between 0 and 10. So you can try it. So we got 4. You see, it's all just a whole number because we floored the number. 2, 7, 9, yeah. So yeah, floor gives the number, the rest whole number, and if you combine them, you can make random number generators that generate integers instead of just floats, you know. So we can go on to the next challenge. Challenge 4. This is the fist bus. Apparently, it's a quite common beginner software development challenge. I never really heard of it before. But what you do is write a program that prints the number from 1 to 100. But there's a caveat here, is you don't just print 1 to 100. If the number is a multiple of 3, you print fist. And if it's a multiple of 5, you print the word bus. And if it's a multiple of both 3 and 5, you print fist bus. So an example would be, the desired result would be 1, 2, and then fist, 4, bus, then fist again, then 7, 8, 9, bus, and then 11, fist, 13, 14, and then fist bus. Because 15 is a multiple of 3 and 5. And then so on until 100.
Number from.
Yeah. And obviously you use loops for this. You guys can try it out. I'll give you guys about 20 to 30 minutes to do it. But you guys understand the criteria, right?
Wait, multiples of 3. So like if 3. Okay.
Multiples of 3 as in 3, 6, 9, 12, 15.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Multiple of 5 is 5 if it's 15, if it's 10.
10, 15, 12. Okay.
But if they're both, then you do fist bus.
So the number is generated randomly or?
No. You want to print them in order from 1 to 100.
Oh, so like it will run a whole an array of number and okay.
Yeah.
Fist bus,
Basically,
fist bus.
like your desired results, the output should look like this. You'll be 1, 2, fist.
Bus.
Yeah, you just want to do this all the way to all the way to 100. Yeah.
Which is bus, right?
Oh yeah, 100 is bus. Yeah. One. Yeah. So try to work on this.
Divide and conquer. Go. Look.
Hey Dyson,
Yeah,
you okay?
yeah, I'm okay. Sorry.
Okay. You seem kind of quiet
I think
nowadays.
I don't know. I don't really feel like that. What do you call it? Talkative sometimes. Yeah, I need to
Okay.
recharge.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
that's
fine. It's fine. Totally normal, man. Do you want to join the breakout? Or you can just stay here if you want. If you don't want to, it's fine.
sorry. I'll just join the breakout if you don't mind.
Oh yeah, yeah. Uh, I think I can't really get you to join again. It's just down there at the. If you look at, yeah, the thing, yeah. Okay.
damn it. Oh my god damn it.
Okay, so you guys are all back. Why, Harry, damn hard is it?
Just half of it, like it's not done. I'm still
not done?
trying.
Okay. Oh, Yuchin got an answer. Let's see.
Wow.
Fist count,
Nice.
bus count, fist bus count. I plus plus.
The count is actually extra only lah. I just want to count, make sure it's correct.
Oh. Yeah, that's why I'm like wondering why do you store the count? But it looks like it should work. Alright.
So
Satish 1, X1, X2, 100. Yeah. Satish 1 also should work. Okay. So here's my solution. I have a few lah. So the first one I did was pretty much like what Satish did, which is you count from 1 to 100, and then first you check whether it's a multiple of 3 and multiple of 5. Then you log fist bus. If it's multiple of 3, fist. Else if it's a multiple of 5 bus, and if it's none of them, then you log just the I itself. Yeah, but however, I also did like a few ways. Some like I did a more functional approach to fist bus. So I made this function called fist bus checker, and basically it takes in a number and it returns what you should return. Like, I mean, it returns like what we should print from that number. So if that number is a fist, if the number is a 3, a multiple of 3, a multiple of 5, return fist bus. If it's 3, return fist. If it's a multiple of 5, return the bus. And if it's none of these, you just return the number itself. So to use this function, I just make a for loop right here, count from 1 to 100, and just console log the results of fist bus checker. I mean, this fist bus checker, yeah, without the 2. So run it. Yeah, 1, 2, fist for bus. Yeah. And I made 2 functions. There's another one which I consider maybe a more smarter way of doing this fist bus thing. So what I did was I created a variable called results, store the empty string, and I say, okay, if the number is a multiple of 3, I concatenate the results with fist.
Yeah.
So now the results will be fist. And if it's a multiple of 5, then I add bus to it. So this actually takes care of the case where it's both a multiple of 3 and multiple of 5. Because if a number is multiple of 3, it will go through this code first. You'll add fist. Then if it's a multiple of 5, you'll add bus right after the fist. And then after that, I just return. Okay, right here I use this thing called a ternary operator. So what it does is, it checks if result is, first of all, if result is the empty string, that means it's not a multiple of 3 or multiple of 5, then you just return the number itself. But if it's not empty, then you return results, which would be either fist bus or fist bus. And for those confused about this ternary operator, this line exactly right here does exactly the same as this thing right here. So it's just a if results is this, do this, or else return this. It's exactly the same. So yeah. So if this is fist bus checker 2, right? Let's use 2. It should be same results.
Nice one.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
So yeah, as you can see, there's a lot of ways you can do answer. You can just use straight up the loops, or you can use a more functional approach. And then use the loop and then call the function from there. Yeah. So let's move on to the last one. This one is interesting. It's factorials. So you want to factorialize a number. So let's say I make a function, like as usual, you want to make a function, I will call it factorial, pass in a number, and what will return is the factorial of the number. So if I give in 1, it'll return 1. If I give in 2, it'll return 2. If it's 3, it will be 6. Right? If it's 4, it will be whatever 4 factorial is. But yeah. And
64. I don't know.
is it? Wait, I have a calculator here, but yeah, it's 24. And I think if it's 5, then it'll be 120. Yeah, 120. And the thing you have to make sure you got right is if you pass in 0 into this, it should return 1 because the factorial of 0 is 1. So that's the edge case that you have to account for. So yeah, factorial products all positive. And the precondition here is that you don't have to worry about negative numbers. We'll pass in numbers from 0, starting from 0, not negative numbers. Yeah, only integers greater than or equal to 0 will be supplied. So yeah, you guys can try this.
Let's go. All right.
Did you manage to do it?
No.
No.
My loop just loop infinitely.
Oh, it's probably your condition, the loop condition. I mean, while waiting for the rest, maybe you can post your answer on the chat. Mm. Okay, is everyone here? Yeah, all right. I've seen Satish answer. Satish got it right. Who else want to share their answer? Harry, did you manage to do the factorial with recursion?
I'm trying to figure it out.
All right.
Still, yeah.
Yeah, but I'll share my answer. So I bet you guys use the loops, right, most of the time.
Yeah.
And so this one is my answer for the loop. It should look similar to your answers. So I have a function called factorial, pass in a number, and first I just initialize a variable called results and set it to 1 straight away. And what I do is, okay, I loop through for loop starting from the number itself and decreasing until it reaches 1. Yeah. So when it's 0, then you exit the for loop. So let's say is a number 5, okay? 5, so I is whatever, result is 1, right? So 1 times 5 will be 5. Then next one is 4. So its results is 5 now, so 5 times 4. Then next one is 5 times 4 times 3, and then 2, and then 1. And then it won't include 0 because it wouldn't be good if I include 0, else everything will be 0, right? So yeah, so one should work. Factorial of 5 is 120. And then I'm going to introduce you guys to another way of doing it, is using recursion. So basically recursion, what it means is to call the function that the function basically calls itself. As you can see here, this factorial 2 function, it passes in a number. So first it checks, is the number 0? If it's 0, return 1. That is the base case, they call it. If the number is not 0, we'll take we'll return the number times the factorial of the number minus 1. Because realize that, let's say 5 factorial is literally just 5 times 4 times 3 times 2 times 1, right? But it's also the same as saying 5 times 4 factorial. So you can see here, factorial, 5 factorial includes like the factorial itself, so it's calling the function again. So, and it's in general form, it's just n, any number n is equals to n times n factorial. any factorial, n factorial is actually n times n minus 1 factorial. So you can use this to your advantage to think about the recursion. And right here is, yeah, so I just take the factorial of it and take the factorial of the minus 1 of the number. And you realize that it will not, this number, if number is 1, it will go, let's trace through. If the number we pass in is 1, okay, is 1 equals 0? No, right? So we'll take 1 times the factorial of 0. And now we look through. When we pass factorial of 0 is what? Is 1. So 1 times 1. So factorial of 1 is 1. Let's say we pass in 2. So when passing 2, we check, is it 0? It's not. So we do this. We'll take 2 times factorial of 1. And factorial of 1, as we found before, is 1, right? We traced through just now. So you guarantee that you receive 2 as the final thing. However, best way to think of recursion, right, is to assume that right here, your function works as intended. So you just assume that, okay, when I'm doing this function, and I pass in the number, I return the number times the factorial of number minus 1, I can assume that this is always correct. So that's a easier way of thinking recursion. A lot of people think like, okay, recursion is like, okay, if 5, I have to like think about, okay, first 5 and then I have to go inside here of 4 and then go and then 3. It's like very confusing, right? But actually, in actuality, thinking of recursion, you don't have to go into like so deep one. Just think of the top level and assume that it's right. And just make sure that you have the base case, like you fulfill a base case of it. And in this case would be like the last case when number is equal to 0, you return 1. And if not, then you do like the recursive case. So yeah, both of these, whether you do recursion or not, both return 120. If I factorial of 0, 0, both return 1. Factorial of 1 is also should be 1. So yeah, that's just a cool thing lah, recursion. So yeah, that's all I think. It's a bit late already, so we should end it soon. But yeah, on summary, we did JavaScript review and a bunch of basic algorithms. And actually ignore this link here. I'm going to send you guys a Google Docs with all the links that you need for this class. And yeah, let's say there's a homework here, so you can try to do it, prepare for next week. Yeah, then yeah, I'll send a link to the slide also in the docs. So yeah, that's it, guys. It's already 11:10, so this whole session is like almost 3 hours. So. But I hope you guys learned something. I should take away some cool stuff about JavaScript today. And yeah. You guys have any questions before you guys leave? Can ask me.
Yeah, I guess.
You understand the factorial? No, sorry, the recursion thing, Harry.
Yeah, a little bit.
A little
But
bit.
I got the basic idea of it. Yeah.
Yeah. It's
So
it's a bit hard to wrap your head around at first.
It's like going through itself.
Mm.
It's like repeating itself, right?
Yeah. Yeah, it's like because you call the function again, right? But that's what's so daunting about factorial. What's so daunting about recursion is that because you have to go in very deep, to try to find out everything. But in actuality, what I learned from uni, because I did like my programming course, they thought that when you think about recursion, you don't really care about what happens like when you call the function again. You just assume that your function is correct. And that way it actually all works out. So yeah.
It's kind of weird.
Yeah, it is kind of weird.
Try
But
a
yeah,
little
it's kind of
bit.
amazing how like I just assume that it works, and it should actually work. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So yeah, you guys can leave already. The class is over.
So no group photo.
Alright, you can put a group photo if you want.
All right.
Hold on. Let me turn it on. Okay, cool.
Oh, Gina, you in the car?
Yes,
Okay.
Using
I've
phone
been
to
driving.
program.
You're driving. Why?
Oh my god.
Oh.
Be careful, be careful.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, cool, guys.
Thumbs up. And
Wait, who's taking a
Oh, so
picture?
long.
oh.
We have a driver here. It's dangerous to pose for so long.
Okay. Yeah.
Oh, you got it?
Are you done?
Taking lessons from.
Anyone
Wait.
Who's
taking the picture?
Oh, okay. Let me do it. Oh my god. I thought you were doing it.
I thought you were doing it, Harry.
No.
Okay, let me do it.
Alright.
Because I got my both
Yeah.
hands here.
I started thinking like, who's taking a picture?
The longest
Okay,
pose
okay.
ever.
Okay. The snipping tool is running. Okay.
3, 1, 2, 3. Yeah.
I thought there was a timer, so that's the reason you put both hands up. Harry.
Oh. Okay, now. Okay.
Okay,
Right.
cool.
3, 2, 1. Okay. Now we
Alright,
got it.
cool. Thanks, guys.
Thanks,
Okay.
guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so
Thanks.
much. Thank you.
Good night.
Hey, good night, everyone.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Thanks, Bob. Bye-bye.
See you
Bye,
guys.
guys.
Bye.
Ciao, ciao, ciao.
Drive carefully, all right?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.